Hey there. You know that feeling like when your brain's really on point, sharp, ready for anything? Well, that's what we're diving into today. The how-to, the everyday things you can do to power up your brain.
Exactly.
We're talking about that article you sent, the one with all the surprisingly simple stuff, for boosting your brain power.
Yeah.
What really got me, though, it's like how all these habits, they kind of work together like pieces of a puzzle
Yeah.
to make your brain, like, really work.
It is fascinating. We often think, oh, the brain's over here, body's over there. But they're totally connected. When you take care of your body, it's like a direct line to a better brain.
Totally. Okay, so let's break this down. This article is all about the morning routine, like setting the stage for your whole day brain-wise. First up, hydration, but not just like sipping water all day. It's about that first thing in the morning, that jump start.
Right. You know how they say even being a little dehydrated can mess with your focus?
Yeah, yeah.
The article talks about how we lose water while we sleep. So downing some H2O right when you wake up, that's like rehydrating your
It's
brain.
like coffee, but for your brain, minus the jitters. Okay, so brain's hydrated. What's next in this morning power up? The article mentions mindfulness, meditation, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'll admit, I used to be like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But they get into the science, and
Mhm.
it's actually pretty cool.
Right. It's not about like emptying your mind or anything. It's about training your attention span, like building mental muscle.
Ah,
And that
yeah.
focus, it helps with everything, decisions, stress, even your emotions.
So just a few minutes each morning, and you're basically rewiring your brain for better focus all day long. I like the sound of that. Speaking of rewiring, the article also talks about light, like actual sunlight being super important first thing.
Totally. Our internal clock, it runs on light.
Makes sense.
Getting some sun, especially in the morning, tells your body, hey, wake up. That means you're more alert, more on point throughout the day.
So opening the blinds is like flipping the on switch for your brain.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
All right, so we've hydrated, we've meditated, we've seen the light, literally, but no brain-boosting routine is complete without a little, movement.
You got it. Even a little exercise does wonders, and not just because, like, endorphins make you happy. It's what's happening in your brain, literally.
Right.
More blood flow, more oxygen, all that good stuff your brain cells need.
It's like an energy drink, but good for you.
Yeah.
And I remember it mentioning something about endorphins too, right?
Absolutely. Natural mood boosters and pain relievers. Makes you feel good and think more clearly. A quick walk, some yoga, even a little dance party. It all helps.
Okay, so we've got our morning routine down. But what about fueling those brains? The article talks a lot about nutrition, how it affects your brain, which I got to admit, I learned a lot. For example, did you know there's a type of fat that's like brain food?
You mean omega-3 fatty acids?
Yeah, those. We've all heard they're good for you, but this article, it breaks down why they're so important.
They're like the building blocks of your brain cells, and they also help protect your brain from damage.
Okay, so we need those omega-3s. Where do we find them?
Fatty fish is the best: salmon, mackerel, sardines.
Gotcha.
But if you're not into seafood, there are always things like walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds.
So, sushi lover or salad fan, there's a way to get those brain-boosting omega-3s.
Right. And it's not just about like what we should be eating, but also, what we should maybe cut back on. This article, it goes into sugar and your brain, and let me tell you, it's not pretty.
Yeah, sugar, it's everywhere. But like, what's the science there? What's it doing to our brains?
Well, remember how we talked about those energy spikes and crashes from simple carbs?
Uh-huh.
Sugar, it's like the king of crashes. Big burst of energy then, bam! Your blood sugar plummets and your brain's like, oh, what happened?
So it's like sugar gives you a little boost, then just leaves you worse off than before. No wonder I feel so blah after a donut.
Exactly. And over time, all those ups and downs, they can actually hurt your brain cells, make it harder to think clearly.
Yikes. Okay, so ditch the sugar, stick with those omega-3s and those good carbs. Got it. Switching gears a bit, this article makes a big deal about learning, Like actually learning stuff keeps your brain young.
Yeah.
Like use it or lose it, but for your brain.
It's so true. There's this thing called neuroplasticity. Basically, your brain is always changing, adapting.
Okay.
Every time you learn something new, it's like you're creating new pathways, new connections in your brain. Keeps it flexible.
So it's not just about like winning trivia night. It's about making sure your brain stays sharp as you get older.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, learning can be anything, right? The article mentions learning a language, picking up an instrument, even just doing puzzles.
Okay, so break that down for me. What's so special about learning a language? It always seems so hard.
It's like a full body workout, but for your brain. New vocabulary, grammar rules, even just wrapping your head around the sounds of a new language.
Whoa, intense. And what about, like, brain training games, those little puzzles? I do those sometimes, but are they actually doing anything?
Right. Well, the research is actually pretty promising. Studies show they can help with memory, attention, how fast your brain processes things.
So it's not just procrastination disguised as self-improvement.
Nice.
But on a more serious note, this article also talks about something we don't always think about: rest
Hmm.
and just connecting with people.
So important.
We're always so busy, but our brains need downtime too, right?
Absolutely. And sleep. It's not optional. It's like when your brain catches up, cleans up, gets ready for the next day.
So we're talking about, like, those solid 7 to 9 hours. But why is that so crucial?
While you're sleeping, your brain is busy organizing memories, getting rid of toxins. It's like maintenance mode.
So, like, those late night cram sessions,
Mhm.
probably not the best if your brain's already fried.
Exactly. The article, it even mentions like being sleep deprived. It can be as bad as like actually being intoxicated, you know, for your brain.
Whoa, seriously. Okay, yeah, not good. Just sleep, check.
Yeah.
But what about just, like, hanging out with people? I always thought that was more of a, like, mood thing, but this article's saying it's good for your brain too.
It totally is. Having good friends, feeling like you belong, it actually lowers stress hormones.
Yeah.
And those stress hormones, terrible for your brain.
Ah,
It's
okay.
like when you feel connected, your brain can finally chill out, you know, recharge, focus on other stuff.
So it's not about, like, how many friends you have on social media. It's more about, like, real, genuine connections.
Totally. People who get you make you feel supported. And it doesn't even have to be in person, you know. Phone calls, video chats, even just being part of some online community, it all helps.
So as we're wrapping up here, thinking about all these brain-boosting habits, it's kind of cool, right? It's not about, like, crazy diets or anything. It's just small, simple stuff that can make a big difference.
Right. You don't have to turn your whole life upside down. It's more about just adding in these little things day by day.
And it really shows you that, like, you have more control over your brain than you might think.
Exactly. Even just trying like one or two of these things, it can really make a difference. You'll feel sharper, more focused. Your memory won't even get better.
Exactly. So if you're feeling kind of foggy or just want to, level up your brain, take a look at your day. Are you getting enough sleep? How's your diet? Are you making time for things you enjoy and for people you care about?
It's about those little tweaks, those little changes that can make a huge difference in the long run.
Absolutely. Because when your brain's working well, everything else in life just seems a little bit easier,
Mm.
you know? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the amazing world of the brain. And until next time, take care of yourselves and your brains.